So you my gadgets.
Yeah, so why don't you show us the tools that you use?
My tools are my hands. That's
True,
my primary one.
Okay.
That's when I started. Basically, especially in the beginning, when my left arm was like numb and tingling, you cannot really do much. So I use my right hand as the main tool. So before at the yoga classes, I oftentimes would start by lying flat, and I use my right hand to go under my neck
So what are you doing?
with the fist. I just put it behind my neck.
Okay. So you're just lying on your fist.
Just lying it, yes.
So it's kind of pulling maybe?
But pulling, but also it's it's like a still point. It's it's pulling,
stabilizing
also
you?
stabilizing, and also at the same time it's giving a pressure, like if you do acupressure. Your thumb would go in, pressing the pressure point, and right there behind the base of your occiput, there's a really good point there. Just put it there, and then because of the hernia, the disc is compressed. What I tried to do was basically elongate my cervical spine, and this is like a good lever. So
Could you sit up and show us like from the back so I can see exactly what you're...
just like that. So,
Oh, okay.
So when I lie flat, so there's a gap in here. If I put my right hand here, which was weak then, so it's
You're just
opening the...
pressing back.
So that's just almost like similar to when you do, the flexion and extension of your neck. But within this lever here, it gives you a nicer opening.
Okay.
And then of course, this is right at the center, the base of the occiput. But you can also do the kind of side, on the oblique side.
Do the same thing.
Same thing.
Oh, and then
And in
push
fact,
it sideways.
as I do this, oftentimes I could even hear this kind of, the muscles, the joint is just like opening and stretching, and it feels really good. So from the side and then back down. So again, so that's then I guess the idea of elongating, opening.
So you're pushing back and down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are that's what I did in the beginning when I, just started, and so all along then I tried to figure out different ways for me to be able to elongate my neck, my spine, to give this space basically. And that was my belief that if you open up the space for your disc, and then the nerves compression becomes less,
And it'll
and
give
that's probably what make the pain dissipated.
Right. So, and you're also allowing the disc to maybe
Right.
go back into place, right? To decompress and...
Yeah. So those are basic things. And then
How long did you do that for, would you say?
well, I did all these things for like 3 months, but then within the period of 3 months, I learned to use more than other things, not just my hand.
Okay.
I thought this was like a perfect shape for me to work on my neck, so I used that too.
Okay. So how did you
So
do
instead of
this?
using my fist, my hands, this is a good tool.
You just laid on that.
That's right.
So kind of your vertebrae were right in between those two
Right.
rings?
Yep. Just like that. Now I have 2 points that would be,
Pressure points?
massaged. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
of course you can move yourself around. And then instead of just doing that, what I do is I use my hands to move that way.
Oh, so you're moving it up,
So,
upwards.
So,
Uh-huh. Moving it up. Because you want it to elongate again,
That's
right?
right,
So that's
yeah.
what you're doing there.
and sometimes, of course, I use this just to do the acupressure for the, like that. And again, as I do it, I just kind of, push it up.
Mm-hmm. Right. So most of what you did here was to elongate, right?
Right,
That's
from
really
the-
the
yeah.
motions that you were doing, either with
Right.
your hands or the tools
Right.
were elongating.
And then also the principle of acupressure.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, loosening the trigger points and all this the knots that people talk about.
So, and you were actually doing it in the heat too. So if people can't be in a really hot
Yeah.
room though, maybe like a heating pad or something to, get their muscles warmed up might be helpful.
Yes. Right, and yeah, I use a heating pad as well. But also, I use the ice pack afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a sense, I used to use cold and hot therapy.
I see. Okay.
Shoulder, the same thing. When it was just very painful, of course I could not use any dumbbell, any weight or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was basically again just mobilization, movement, stretching without any weight. One day I just started basically just moving my arms, like doing stretches, just like you would do, just like that, with nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And that was at one point that was the only thing I could do. And
That must have been painful
just
anyway,
like that.
right, in the beginning?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yes. So it was a slow process.
Mm-hmm.
And then gradually I used like maybe I think it was like 2 pounds weight, like that, a pound. And that's one thing I did. And then
So it was mostly stretching and strengthening.
strengthening, and then also the movement. So not just that. So there's a fluid in there. I gradually developed this. Instead of just doing that, and then different angle. So I began to do like movement like that.
Oh, smooth and fluid, like you're
Smooth
saying.
fluid just around. So this is just for my shoulder.
So,
And I noticed that as I was doing this, gradually I could do more and more, and then and I felt like either I could just tolerate the pain, or the pain became less. I didn't really know, but it was very slow.
well, how long would you say this took?
Well, this has been they find it like in the spring and then the summer, summer. So it's almost a year.
Okay. So it took you a year of working on this
Yeah, I've been
to
working
get
on
back
this a
full.
year. Yeah,
So
yeah.
would you say you have full mobility?
I do. I have full mobility now. But this stretches, then it moves into a progression. Not just doing this for my shoulder. I combine it with for my back, my neck, my shoulder as well. So, and I started doing this from spinal twist. Since I'm just doing that, this what I do is combine. Now, I'm elongating my spine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reaching as far high. Right now I got stretching, stretching my neck as I'm doing this on my shoulder. And I'm beginning to twist. Right now my neck is just getting the opening, side opening, like, and then I would continue. And now my neck is kind of rotating. So that's more complex because you get stress on your down here from your lower back, your head, your entire body.
And that's really good. Like you said, your shoulder, you're getting a good
Like
work out there.
My shoulder is opening right now.
Your neck.
My neck. And then
even your hip is getting it.
And then from there, see, I also got my other shoulder is also getting worked out too. And at the same time, right now, I'm working on my neck. Rotation.
Even your lower back, you're getting like a full spinal workout
So
here because you're twisting.
Neck here, shoulder here. My neck rotation.
Wow. That looks like a really great stretch anyway for people, especially if they're sitting down all day and they just need to, you know, just get their spine loosened up.